Hello there. How do you play to win? Leaders play to win. Leaders play to win. And they win in many respects. They win not just measured by the usual performance indicators, your KPIs, profit, market share, and the like, operational efficiency, growth, and what have you. They win in more substantive respects. They win in terms of the transformation that they bring to bear on their people. But however you choose to measure or appraise how a leader wins, there are things to bear in mind. There is a way through which winning is assured or guaranteed in the conduct of leadership. Many struggle to win. Many are still trying to figure out how to realize the essence of their leadership. And so I welcome you to Leadership in 30 Minutes today. And I think that I might have some insight that can help you to truly win as a leader. So I'll be talking about how a leader wins, how a leader wins. And I think we'll just go straight to the meat of today's discussion. I use the word the leader needs to play by the rules. The leader needs to play by the rules. That's how leaders win. That's how true leaders win. They play by the rules. They play by the rules. Now, this is a simple counsel. It's also based on a simple principle, but it's pretty loaded. And it's loaded in the sense that it carries or conveys the huge responsibility that a leader has to shoulder in the quest to win, in the pursuit of the realization of his or her mandate. Now, the leader needs to play by the rules, and it's not easy to commit to playing by the rules. It's a huge responsibility. Is a huge responsibility. Now, because one of the things that this tells you is that you are not allowed to win anyhow. As a leader, you can't win anyhow. All right. Leadership is not anyhow goes. Here we emphasize that, leadership, there's a right way to do leadership. All right. And we talk about doing leadership right. If you must do leadership right, it means there is a way to do it. Not just any way is acceptable. Not just any way is acceptable. It reminds me of the kind of thing that Jack Welch, that long time is late now, but a leader, a profound leader, of General Electric for many years. And he would typically say, well, as much as we like results, as much as we like profits, as much as we like targets to be met, we're also going to take interest in how the target was met. And the idea is, did you play by the rules in the pursuit of the target? All right. What result you are showing? Was it accomplished according to the rules? Because yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to become efficient. Yes, we want to grow our market. Yes, we want to do a lot of things. All right. But it's not to achieve those things by hook or by crook. It's not to achieve those things anyhow. Anyhow will not do. Anyhow will not do for a true leader. Anyhow is unacceptable for a true leader. And so there is the counsel. You have to play by the rules. You have to play by the rules. All right? You have to play by the rules. And our counsel usually are grounded in the Word of God, because here at Emmet Leadership Academy, we nurture leaders based on truth. Truth is found in the Word of God. You must have been used to that statement from me now, but that's it. That's our commitment. That's what sustains what we teach about leadership. That's what gives us the conviction that what we teach works. And so if you look at the truth, the book that contains the truth, and you look at 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 5, there we get the counsel about playing according to the rules. If you were looking at the New Living Translation, it will tell you something like, and athletes cannot win the prize unless they follow the rules. Athletes cannot win the prize unless they follow the rules. I like the way that King James puts it. He said, if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully. If you're striving for mastery, if you are working to win, all right, you will not be crowned. You should not be crowned except you strive lawfully. So there is a lawful way to win. There is the right way to win. And that is the right way to lead. The truth is, if you lead the right way, you would win the right way. If you lead the right way, you will win the right way. So the first thing we want to establish is that if you are a leader, and a leader who is authentic, or at least who wants to operate, based on authenticity, you must understand that there is a right way to win. There aren't many right ways to win. There's usually one right way to win. And the right way to win is the only way that is desirable for a true leader. It's the only option that anyone who wants to be a true leader needs to focus on or needs to seek. There is a right way to win. All right. It said it must strive lawfully. You must strive lawfully. All right. Or you must obey the rules. You have to play by the rules. That tells us that whatever it is you are doing, and especially when it comes to leadership, there are rules that you must obey in your quest to win. There are rules. And with leadership, there are rules. There are rules. The question is, do we know the rules? Do leaders understand those rules? Do they operate by those rules? So there is the right way to win. And the right way to win is by observing principles. It's by observing principles. There are key principles that tell us and teach us how to win, how to lead rather, and therefore how to win. I mean, if you take, for example, a farmer who goes out to sow, he carries a seed. Why does he carry a seed? He plants the seed at some point. Why does he decide to plant the seed? He checks out the land on which he plants. Why does he do that? And then, he waters the seed. And so he does a number of things between holding the seed and when a harvest comes from the land on which he or she has planted the seed. That entire process is not ruled by trial and error. The harvest, for him to realize a harvest, he's not going to operate by trial and error. Trial and error will get him nowhere. And if he likes, he may choose to explore some shortcuts. Well, he will get the results. He will surely get the results. The point is that in that particular endeavor, there are rules. It's governed by principles. You want to prosper as a farmer. You want to have something to show as a farmer. You want to have a great harvest as a farmer. There are principles that you must observe. And by the way, that principle, which is expressed in the parable of the sower, which I believe everyone knows, all right, is one of the principles for teaching leadership. It's leadership is like farming. The leader is like a farmer. The same principles apply. So you want to win, you want the right way to win. There's a right way to win. Just as there is a right way for the farmer to follow. And there are many ways for the farmer to get the results, all right, that he desires. All right. The same thing applies to leadership. So you win by observing principles. And I often ask, as a leader, what principles do you operate by? What principle guide your approach to leadership? What principles do you uphold as a leader? Are those principles clear to your people? If we call people who work with you, can they tell us some of your cornerstone principles? If that's not the case, I'm afraid you may not be on the right track. Because if you are operating by principles, if your leadership work is anchored to certain principles, then, sooner than later, it becomes very obvious to your people. And by the way, it's one of the ways that they learn from you, they learn about you, and they learn how to do leadership right. Okay, so you have to win by principles. And those are the rules. Those are the rules. Now, it's important that there are rules, all right, for many things. Almost everything on the earth, there are rules. The reason many fail or we are unable to realize our desires, our goals, our objectives, is that we don't spend time, all right, learning the principles that guarantee the realization of our goals. So, everyone must fall in line. If you're a farmer, everyone must fall in line, except you don't want to realize the kind of results that the principles promise. Everyone must fall in line. So everyone is running by the same principles. One of the reasons for that is that order is guaranteed. Order. There must be order. If we're all striving for something, there must be order. There must be order for the sake of everyone, including yourself. There must be order. I mean, imagine being on a football field and everyone is doing his own thing. It's one of the reasons that you have the referee. And the referee, is there to enforce compliance with the rules. All right, to enforce compliance with the rules, and in the process, to punish those, to regulate the conduct of everyone, to ensure that there is order, to ensure that there is also fairness. All right, to ensure that there is no disruption from parties who are not willing to submit to the rules. Everyone must fall in line. Everyone must fall in line. And so it's important as well, all right, for the subject of leadership. That's the third point that I think it's important for us to make. There's another point which is interesting because that's what a commitment to playing by the rules does. All right, it's a discipline and it promotes discipline. When you know that, the farmer can't do anything, the leader can't just do anything, You want to win, you need to operate by according to the rules. You need to play according to the rules. Otherwise, you would not be crowned. Otherwise, your results will not be appreciated, be recognized, let alone celebrated. And so every time that you take on your leadership role, and in every aspect of your conduct, all right, you find that you must play by the rules. You must be mindful of the rules. You must commit to the rules. You must subject yourself to the rules. You must operate according to the rules. What it does is that it promotes discipline in the conduct of your leadership. It promotes and develops in you, and by implication in those who follow you, a disciplined character. And it's one of the key requirements. Is one of the key requirements. That's why when you look at that reference, in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 5, if you backed up a bit and you looked at, 4, all right, you would find that, verse 4 tells us that, soldiers don't get tied up in the affairs of civilian life, for then they cannot please the officer who enlisted them. When you talk about soldiers, you talk about discipline, that it takes discipline. Because immediately after that statement, he then says, look, if you are an athlete and you want to win, you have to operate by the rules. Discipline is required. Discipline. If you find a leader who is not disciplined, then there's a challenge. That's not likely to be a good leader, because good leaders, true leaders, are disciplined. And they also ensure that that discipline, all right, is developed in the people that they supervise. And one of the ways to promote discipline is to operate according to the rules. Remember, nothing goes. Leadership is not trial and error. It's not about not anything goes. No, it's not about treating one situation in this manner today, and your people are observing you, and tomorrow you are treating the situation, a similar situation, in a completely different manner. All right, that immediately tells us that you are not being led by any set of rules, because rules don't change. Rules help to regulate behavior. All right, and they serve as a guide, because the rules are there to also signpost how to navigate in order to achieve a desired end result. All right. So that is something that needs to be emphasized. And that also has its own additional benefit. When you play according to the rules, you develop discipline. And that's a very important aspect of the character of the leader. All right. Some will call it self-control. All right. It is not just doing anything, not just doing what is convenient, not just doing what you like to do, not just exercising authority or power because you have it. No. All right. It is an objective commitment, all right, to a set of rules that you believe in, to a particular approach that you believe in. That's what leadership is about. That's what differentiates good from bad leaders. All right. They are excited to learn the rules and to play accordingly. All right. In the process, they develop strong character. You can't be said to have strong character or strength of character when you lack discipline. It's an important component of the right kind of character that is required for leadership. Let me emphasize one of the very important things also, that playing by the rules ensures that there is a level playing field. It ensures there is a level playing field, because once you have the rules in place and everybody knows it, then everyone knows what is acceptable, what is allowed, what will be penalized, what will be celebrated, what will be recognized. Everyone knows exactly what kind of race to run in order to win. In order to win. And you can't create the right atmosphere for making the right impact as a leader without ensuring that you have a level playing field, without ensuring that there is fairness and equity. There is an environment in which your leadership efforts will be fruitful, will win, will produce the desired results. One of the core elements of that environment is fairness, is the topmost priority when it comes to creating the right atmosphere. When you look at the principle that underlie what the farmer does, all right, from taking the seed to realizing the harvest, one of the things that must be respected is the right environment. The right environment has to be in place. The right environment must be in place. The right environment, the right atmosphere, if you like, must be in place. If the right atmosphere is not in place, it would affect the performance of the seed. It would affect the way the ground will respond. It would affect how the crop will grow. If, for example, you don't weed and you allow weeds to keep growing with the crop, they will choke the crop. And what is that? The atmosphere, the environment cannot be allowed to be corrupted, for example. All right, the crop needs to be able to breathe. It needs, ample circulation of air. So when it comes to the issues of leadership, fairness, a level playing field, equity is a primary requirement. I mean, put yourself in that situation. A leader can't win with you when the leader is seen to be biased, when the leader is all about favoritism, when some people get away with certain things and others can't get away with it, and these things are so obvious, of course, everyone is discouraged. That kind of environment does not bring out the best in you. That kind of environment doesn't bring out the best in you. So when you play by the rules, a clear set of rules, then it helps you to ensure fairness. It helps you to create the kind of environment that is required, all right, for your leadership efforts to be fruitful, to prosper, for you to get the right kind of results in your people and also with your people, in your people as well as with your people. Now, I would talk about the final component so that we can bring this to a close. And that's the fact that when you play by the rules, it promotes credibility. For who? For you. It promotes credibility. Why? Because you come across to your people as being consistent. Because in specific situations, you do the same thing. Why do you do the same thing? Because you are not just flying blind. You are guided by rules that you have learned, that you believe in, that you've committed yourself to. And every time, I mean, that's the way to ensure that you are authentic in a sense. You don't decide to be authentic and therefore, you just come across as authentic always. You don't decide that I'm going to do the right thing, and therefore in every situation you do the right thing. No, the way you guarantee that you always do the right thing is to operate by a clear set of principles. Is to operate by a clear set of principles. Why? Because the principles keep you on the right path. The principles, serve as a check. The principles serve as a guide. So in every situation, because you are following a set of principles, you always remain consistent. All right? You always remain consistent, and you are not blown to the right one day, blown to the left another day, and leaving your people wondering, we can't even trust this man. This man is not dependable. He's not reliable. He just does things anyhow. No, that's not what a leader does. And by committing to principles, you commit to objectivity. That means you're objective every time you are taking decisions, every time you are reacting, every time you are making a move on one thing or the other. Objectivity is guaranteed. When the people see that, they will return a verdict of dependability, of reliability on you, on your leadership. And that builds you credibility. That earns you trust, which is that very scarce currency that every leader is looking for, all right, in order to be able to influence his or her people accordingly, and therefore to be able to get results with them. So you see, there is no way for you to be credible when you don't play according to the rules. When you don't play according to the rules. And while we're at it, when you play according to the rules, be mindful that things won't always work in your favor. Things may not work the way you want it. But it's okay, because it's more important to play according to the rules than to get a particular kind of outcome. All right? It's more important to play according to the rules than to realize a particular, all right, expected outcome. It's more important to play according to the rules. And you should run away from every temptation to circumvent the rules, to bend the rules, to misrepresent the rules, because long term, it will not serve your purpose as a true and authentic leader. That's what I want to share with us this morning on today's edition of Leadership in 30 Minutes. And we've been talking about how a leader wins. A leader wins by playing by the rules, by playing by the rules. And you can't play by the rules except you know the rules. So you need to learn the rules of leadership. All right. And you want to learn that, check in the description area. You would see various opportunities that we provide for you to learn the rules of leadership. And of course, once you know you are in command of the rules of leadership, all right, you need to now commit yourself to its practice. You need to exercise yourself. You need to begin to follow them. All right. When you learn the rules and you develop the discipline of playing by the rules, you develop yourself into a credible leader, into a leader who wins, into a leader who gets the right kinds of results, a leader who gets great results in the right manner. All right. And that's what matters most. It's not so much the results, it's how you obtain the results. And if you follow the right rules, you will always get the right results. Always get the right results. So the guarantee for winning, for getting the right results and in the right way, is to locate the rules and to apply them. And to apply them. And you can see we've talked about the many benefits that would accrue to you by simply simply following this path. Once again, thank you for joining me this morning. It's been Leadership in 30 Minutes. If this has been a blessing, invite others, share the link, as they say, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and do check out the variety of ways through which I can be of help to you in developing your capacity to lead and your competence in this area. The world is in dire need of leadership, and you ought to put yourself up as a solution, all right, to the leadership challenges, across the rank and file in our society. On our part, we continue to develop people, to develop leaders based on the truth, based on the truth. Again, Olatunji Shobodu is my name. Grateful to have you join this session this morning. Meet me once again on Leadership Monday. Take delivery of your nugget for the week. And you can check as well, the session earlier this week. It was a very interesting session. I talked about an asset that you are required to buy as a leader, one that you are not allowed to sell. You want to know the details of it? Check it out. It will do you a world of good. All right. So that's it for today on Leadership in 30 Minutes. Thank you very much once again. God bless you and enjoy what remains of the week. Bye-bye.